In the vibrant heart of the Kingdom of Oilo, where the sun dipped low on the horizon and painted the sky in shades of amber and crimson, there lived a woman named Machi. Her name whispered through the winds, a melody woven with admiration and longing. Machi was not just a woman. She was the embodiment of beauty, a radiant figure whose allure captivated every soul that crossed her path. Her laughter echoed like a sweet song, enchanting the hearts of men and women alike. Yet, amidst the splendor of her life, a shadow lingered, a yearning that would lead her down an unexpected path. Machi's beauty drew suitors from every corner of the kingdom and beyond. Young men, adorned in the finest garments, would travel miles just for a fleeting glimpse of her smile. Yet, time and again, she turned them away, her heart steadfastly closed to the notion of love. It was not until she met Alma, a humble yet ambitious hunter, that her heart found its counterpart. Their love blossomed like a rare flower in the wild, vibrant and unyielding. Together, they painted a picture of happiness that filled the hearts of those around them with envy and admiration. Their laughter rang out through the valleys, weaving tales of joy that echoed through the ages. Years rolled by, but the joyful melodies of their life together were overshadowed by a sorrowful silence, the absence of a child. The kingdom, once filled with the sweet sounds of laughter, became a tapestry of whispers and mockery, which they would call Machi as she passed by, a cruel smirk accompanying their taunts. The burden of childlessness fell heavily upon her shoulders, pulling her into a chasm of despair. The vibrant woman who once lit up the world now faded into a mere shadow of her former self, her laughter silenced by the weight of society's disdain. Machi's anguish gnawed at Alma, whose heart ached for his beloved wife. Unable to bear the torment she endured, Machi resolved to seek answers, to chase after hope in the form of a child. With every ounce of determination, she embarked on a journey through mystical lands, seeking the wisdom of witch doctors and sorcerers. She traversed through dense forests and treacherous mountains, the allure of motherhood propelling her forward. Yet with each encounter, despair deepened. "Your chi has forsaken you," a sorcerer told her, the words stabbing her heart like icy daggers. The journey wore her down, but just as her hope began to wither like a dying flower, fate intervened. At the edge of a shimmering stream, she encountered an old witch, her presence emanating a strange, powerful energy. The witch gazed into Machi's eyes and whispered secrets of her pain, the knowledge flowing between them like an unspoken bond. "I can help you," the witch promised, offering Machi a glimpse of hope. Intrigued, Machi followed the ancient woman into the heart of a mystical forest, where the air thickened with magic and the trees whispered tales of old. For 7 days, Machi underwent a grueling ritual, each moment pushing her to the brink of her limits. The witch's chants and incantations resonated through the woods, intertwining with the very essence of the earth. After what felt like an eternity, the witch emerged from the depths of the forest, her eyes glinting with knowledge. "Return home, for the gods have granted your wish. You shall bear a child," she declared. But her voice turned grave as she spoke of a prophecy that accompanied this blessing, a prophecy of war and turmoil. Machi's heart soared at the promise of motherhood, yet the weight of the prophecy pressed down on her. She returned home with a mixture of joy and dread, a heavy burden resting upon her heart. Months passed, and soon she held her son in her arms, naming him Iave, a name that resonated with power and destiny. The village celebrated, and Machi's mockers fell silent, their laughter extinguished by the light of her joy. As Iago grew, he exhibited remarkable strength, a force of nature that even the elders of Oilo could not ignore. He became the pride of his parents, cherished and revered. Yet, as the years unfolded, a darker shadow loomed over the kingdom. The once peaceful lands of Oilo faced relentless attacks from a neighboring tribe, the Umians, who sought to claim dominion over their resources. Fear gripped the hearts of the villagers as they cowered behind their walls, dreading the inevitable raids that left them battered and broken. Amidst this chaos, Alma sought counsel from the village's elders and a chief priest. Sacrifices were made, prayers lifted to the heavens, and finally, the gods responded. A great warrior is among you, destined to restore peace and bring victory, the priest proclaimed. The villagers rejoiced, their hope rekindled by the promise of a hero who would rise from their midst. Little did they know that the prophecy held a darker twist, one that would entwine Iago's fate with unimaginable challenges. When the call to arms rang out, Iago felt the fire of destiny burning within him. He yearned to fight for his people, to prove himself as a warrior. But Machi, with a mother's heart, forbade him from going to war. "You are still so young," she implored, her voice trembling with fear. But the pull of valor was too strong for Iago to resist. Under the cover of darkness, he slipped away from home, determined to join the ranks of the brave men preparing for battle. The battlefield transformed Iago, igniting a flame of courage and strength that resonated throughout the kingdom. As he fought alongside the warriors, whispers of his prowess spread like wildfire, earning him the nickname, the Lion of Oilo. With each victory, he grew bolder, and the villagers revered him as a demigod force that would bring salvation to their troubled lands. But power, like a sweet poison, began to cloud Iago's judgment. His victories transformed into arrogance, and he became consumed by the thrill of conquest. He led his men into countless battles, raiding neighboring kingdoms for riches and glory. The once humble heart of a boy turned into the heart of a conqueror, blind to the suffering he inflicted upon others. His parents, especially Machi, watched in despair as their son drifted further away from the values of honor and respect they had instilled in him. The day came when Iago launched an attack on the Kingdom of Oilo, a realm known for its valor and wisdom. Unbeknownst to him, this would be a battle that would shift the course of his fate. The Umians, long respected for their prowess in warfare, prepared for a fight that would echo through history. It was a clash of titans, and Iago, drunk with confidence, charged into the fray, convinced of his invincibility. As the dust settled, Iago found himself facing a formidable opponent, Odi, the giant of Oilo, with muscles like iron and an imposing presence. Odi was a force of nature, a warrior whose reputation preceded him. The ground trembled beneath their feet as they prepared to engage in a battle that would determine the fate of their kingdoms. Iago, fueled by the thrill of combat, charged forward, but as the clash of steel echoed through the air, he realized the truth that had eluded him. Odi was unlike any opponent he had faced before. With each strike, Iago felt the weight of his hubris crashing down upon him. The giant's strength was overwhelming, a reminder that arrogance had blinded him to the truth of his own limitations. In the midst of the chaos, Iago remembered the prophecy that had been foretold, the ominous warning of the tall giant with 4 fingers. Panic surged through him as he tried to catch a glimpse of Odi's hands, desperately seeking a sign of his doom. In a moment of sheer desperation, Iago called for a retreat, a decision that shocked both his men and himself. The whispers of cowardice began to swirl around him, and as he fled from the battlefield, a fire of rage ignited within him. News of his retreat spread like wildfire, leaving a stain on his once heroic reputation. The villagers who had once lifted him on their shoulders now whispered tales of his cowardice, their admiration tainted by disappointment. Determined to reclaim his honor, Iago sent a challenge to Odi, demanding a one-on-one duel that would silence the rumors once and for all. The day of reckoning arrived, and the air was thick with tension as the villagers gathered to witness the clash of titans. Machi watched with a heart heavy with fear, knowing that the fate of her son hung in the balance. As the sun rose over the battlefield, Iago and Odi faced each other, their eyes locked in a battle of wills. The drums of war rolled in the distance, reverberating through the hearts of the villagers. The fight commenced, a symphony of strength and fury, as Iago unleashed every ounce of power he possessed. Yet, no matter how hard he fought, Odi remained unyielding, a giant who embodied the very essence of strength. With each blow exchanged, Iago realized the depths of his folly. The giant stood as a living reminder of the consequences of his hubris, the embodiment of the destiny that awaited him. The villagers held their breath as the clash intensified, and as the sun reached its zenith, a moment of truth arrived. In a final, desperate attempt to prove his worth, Iago charged at Odi with a ferocity that bordered on madness. But as he lunged forward, the giant raised his hand, revealing the four fingers that sealed Iago's fate. The world around him shattered as realization crashed upon him, a reminder of the prophecy he had ignored. With a swift and powerful motion, Odi struck, and the battlefield fell silent. Machi's heart shattered as she witnessed the fall of her son, the culmination of a journey that had begun with hope and love. In that moment, the laughter of the kingdom faded into an echo, leaving behind only the bitter taste of regret. As the dust settled, the villagers mourned the loss of a hero who had succumbed to the weight of his own ambitions. The whispers of Machi's laughter transformed into sobs, resonating through the kingdom as they came to terms with the consequences of their choices. The name Iago would live on, not as a symbol of victory, but as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the delicate balance between ambition and humility. Machi, once a woman of radiant beauty, became a figure of resilience, embodying the strength that comes from loss. The Kingdom of Oilo, forever changed, learned to honor the lessons of the past and cherish the bonds of family and love. The echoes of laughter may have faded, but in the hearts of those who remained, the legacy of Machi and her son would endure, a reminder of the power of humility in the face of destiny.